Jennifer, the largest landowners that were here in the Smokies were definitely the logging companies. And between the late 1800s and the time the park was established, there was almost 20 different logging companies that were clear cutting up here. That's a lot. It sure was. But there was, really, it was the first time that cash money was brought into the area for some of the farmers that worked for the logging company. And it was, most of the companies, came in from other areas. Come down here, but they gave a whole different economic.
I tell you, Ben, I've been doing this work since '01 when Colonel Townsend brought the railroad and the lumber company into this area.
No kidding.
Yeah, but I've been working for him so long now, I'm making up to 25 cents an hour.
It doesn't feel like enough, back sunrise, sundown, working to get 125 logs sawed every day.
And then when it snows, we gotta work in the snow. Because if we don't work, we don't get paid.
Tell me about it. It's just terrible. I love, the pay and the life here is decent, but, they just can't give us a break.
Yeah, I know. But I've been doing this so long, I can remember back in '03 when Mrs. Townsend, the Colonel's wife,
Oh, yeah.
she brought the Christmas tree to this area. We'd never seen anything like that before.
I've heard stories about it. That guy Jerry Cuffler, he would
I
walk
know him.
5 miles. He walked from his home to get to the old schoolhouse, and it was just so crowded over there. He had to climb around and look through a window to see that Christmas tree. He told me all about it, all decked out and shiny with candles and glass ornaments on there, all the way from Pennsylvania.
I know that there's a lot of Pennsylvania with them people in there. I'll tell you though, Mrs. Townsend, she really likes the people that work here for the company. She goes off on these shopping trips and brings toys and everything back for the kids for Christmas. That's really amazing.
Boston, Chicago. She took her special passenger train along with her. What's it? She's the number 110.
110, yeah.
Some of the colleagues say that's nicknamed Margaret.
I wouldn't doubt that for a minute.
Yeah, no kidding. But she, like she said, she's a wonderful lady, and just last year we got a nice olive wood box from her. Treasuring it ever since.
She was an amazing lady.
Oh no.
What time is it getting to be, Ben?
Say we've been having a break for a while. It's about 20 past 3.
I think we better get back to work.
Before the park was established, there was no tree standing at all. It was just clear cut at one time. And by the time the first superintendent came on the scene here, there were abandoned houses that people had sold their land to move outside the park. That's become a national park. There were it was just a mess. There was no trails, no facilities, no nothing.
Wow.
It was
It's
really
hard to believe with everything that we have here today.
Mhm.
That was the early stages before this was a park.
Yeah.
It's starting to come together a little more.
Yeah, it really is. But we had some help.
Help?
We did.
Who?
It was a tree army.
A tree army.
Yes, a tree army.
I don't get a tree army.
If it wasn't for this tree army, we would not have this national park.
You're going to have to explain that a little bit more to me.
All right.
I don't know. Tree army thing.
Well, it was a very special creation of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who was our president during the Great Depression. And almost 4,000 men worked at this park, during this park from 1934 to 1938. And if it hadn't been for these guys, we wouldn't have any we have today. A very special group of army right there. And there's a historian told me one time, he said that, if we had the staff we have today, back then in 1934, it would take us 75 years to do what they did in just a little under 10 years.
Wow.
So it's pretty amazing. But Jennifer, I can't imagine what the first park superintendent walked into when he came here with no trees, no staff, no nothing. And I don't know, it's maybe another note-taking thing.
Notes. I need notes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm J. Ross Elliott. I'm the park superintendent for the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. my pleasure to welcome you to our nation's 25th National Park. As you travel around the park today, you'll see a lot of construction activity going on. As we mentioned, we have the CCC here. That's the Civilian Conservation Corps. They have 22 work sites on both the North Carolina and the Tennessee side of the park, and about 4,000 workers here in the park. Our first priority is we're going to be building some new roads, and that's going to require some new tunnels and bridges to be built. We're also going to be building some administration buildings here in the park. And while we're using the Keener House on top of the hill here at park headquarters, we'll soon be building a new park headquarters building somewhere in this area here. Also, as you travel around today, there's 3 people you may run into here. 2 of those people are Hiram Wilburn and Charles Grossman. Now, Hiram is our new park historian, and Charlie is known by the local people as our local junk dealer. These 2 people's first priority is they're going to be documenting and mapping the location of the approximately 1,700 buildings we have here in the park. Charlie is picking up archives in the park. We have everything from old plows, woodworking equipment, and from the homes we've taken homemade furniture, chairs, we have coil oil lamps. We have a little bit of everything that Charlie's been collecting. And then the third person you may run into is Joseph Hall. Now, while Joseph is from Pennsylvania, he has endeared himself to the people here, and they've accepted him as one of their own. He's going to be writing about the people here, and the people here call him a man of the people. He's going to document where they came from and what it was like living here during this time in history. We hope at some time that we can gather all of this information together in one location, something like a museum or maybe a heritage center. It will allow scholars and individuals in the future to come here and look at these records and see what it was like living at this time in history. I'm sorry I have to run, but before I leave, I would like to tell you that that's really what the National Park Service is all about. We're here to preserve and protect these assets as they are now for your enjoyment and for future generations to enjoy. I have a very important meeting at park headquarters. We're interviewing author Stuka for our new biologist in the park, and I've got to run and be sure. We hope we can get him to come to our national park. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, all I know is that this must have been a scientist's dream to have been hired to be the park naturalist.
Could you imagine the first park naturalist? I just started. That would have been so cool. I want that job. I want that job.
No. Just think about it. Nothing was documented. There was nothing
I know.
It started from scratch.
I know.
And Mr. Stuka, I don't know. I would love to work with this man.
Me too.
So I wonder if we mosey over to headquarters. Maybe if we could find somebody who knows him.
Let's go.
He was an amazing man. But you know what you gotta do now.
I know. I know. More notes. Thank you, Mr. Suka. See you later, Mr. Suka.
Oh my gosh, I just had another incredible meeting with Mr. Suka. We were out in the field all day collecting specimens, plants, animals, insects, and it's just such a joy working with him. We're then going to take what we've collected into our workshop, and we're going to identify what we found to then lay the groundwork for our natural history collection here at the Great Smokies. Mr. Suka and his methods are just insane. He comes from such an amazing background of knowledge. He worked at Acadia and Yosemite, and he brings so much to the table here at Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and I couldn't be more lucky to be his intern here. I just learned so much every day. Luckily, I get to go to his programs at Chimney's picnic area and Chimney's campground and learn all about his campfire talks, and he does an amazing job. You walk away a better human. You've learned and you've been inspired by the national parks, and you feel like you can go learn 100 native trees here in the park, and the Latin names too, which, let me tell you, it's a challenge. But I am just lucky here in the park to be working with him. I get to go on his caravan tours, which offer a little bit of a different perspective here in the Smokies, and every day is a blessing with Art Stuka. So, speaking of, we have a vasculum full of plants that I have to go catalog in the back, and inevitably I'm going to have to call in Mr. Stuka, and he's going to have to identify those for me. But I will learn, because everybody learns so much after seeing Arthur Stuka and interacting with him. So, I must be going.
What a true gift. This
Yeah,
park
really.
is just a true gift.
There's so much here.
There is.
I got the natural stuff. The compost stuff starting to come together a little bit more.
Alright.
Got more than what I got out of here.
Let's see if we can go over here and sum things up a little bit.
Sound good.
Gone from the birth of this national park through a dream from the mother, and it was actually topped up people who lived here. There were a logging industry was here, even the CCC that's here, the first park superintendent, and the first park naturalist. Think about all these gifts that have been given. You know, we're talking about the Christmas time of year and the gift of this national park to this nation because of how special. But you know, some of the gifts were sacrificial gifts because the people had to sell their homes for this land, for this national park. Others were just a dream and a passion, the park, or the hard work that took place in it. But it is truly a gift that keeps giving. That you can't find anywhere else. And I think that's what's so special about Great Smoky Mountains.
I get it. And I get to be a part of it. I'm excited.
You need to be a park ranger for sure. You can see that.
Thanks very much.
Hey everybody, thank you guys for coming today. We tried something new this year, and I hope you enjoyed it. I want you to give these guys a big round of applause. These are all volunteers and interns.